One of the more interesting stories that I think is bouncing its way around the media is, get this, waste, fraud, and abuse in the city specifically of Chicago, specifically regarding the Chicago public schools. There have been a ton of instances of waste, fraud, and abuse, none more glaring than the recent reports coming out that Chicago public schools have spent about $7 million on luxury travel.
Say, hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right.
For instance, paying top dollar for things that shouldn't cost that much. Now, before we get into the nuts and bolts and stats of this, I'd like to play some recurring themes that are going on in not only the Chicago public school area, but around public government education. The idea that, well, we just need more money. This is a reoccurring theme. This video was posted, like the rest of the videos we're going to play, it was posted by the Chicago Teachers Unions, in which they're making that exact plea. Play this, I believe it's cut 7.
After school programs, if they were cut, there would be more crime rates, there would be more students getting involved in what we do not want them to get involved. We also want no cuts to the dual language education programs, as this is what motivates Mexican students, all students all over the world that do not know English are already at a disadvantage. Dual language programs are important for our schools. Imagine there's an 84% rate of CPS graduates. If there were dual language budget cuts, there would be more dropouts. The 16%, they're probably students of color.
Yes, the age-old trope from the teachers' unions, the schools just need more money. We need to fund the schools. Well, juxtapose that to this new report. CPS, the Chicago Public Schools, travel spending doubled from 2019 to 2024 from $3.6 million to $7.7 million. The reports say that employees repeatedly violated spending rules without required pre-approval. Hey, this trip abroad on a vacation that I'm calling a work trip, I know it's over budget and I know I'm supposed to get it approved, but I'm just going to go ahead and do it anyway, says the Chicago Public School employees. 13 of 15 overseas staff trips never received the required approval. Staff went on one trip that was explicitly rejected by the district officials. Basically said, hey, we want to go on this trip. I don't care if you don't want us to go on this trip. And also, what trips are necessary for government school employees to go on outside of like field trips, I guess? But even then, they are wasting money. Some of the excuses given were, well, federal COVID aid contributed to the ballooning travel expenses because we had all of this money now and we didn't know what to do with it. And yet, there is still the ongoing pitch that we need more money. Now, all of this is in the midst of a financial spending crisis for the Chicago public schools. They are currently facing a $734 million budget deficit. Nearly 50 schools that are operating below 1/3 capacity means that the Chicago area taxpayers are paying up to, get this, $93,000 per student per year.
I didn't hear that.
In some areas because, well, there's nobody showing up to the schools. The attendance is down. And we need more money. That's what they need. They need more money. Just another example of this, and I gathered several of these clips because this is the recurring theme for teachers unions, is this. Clip 8, again, an after-school program that just isn't getting the funding. Also, we're wasting money everywhere we can. Play this cut 8.
All City as a whole is an outstanding program that has a 60-year legacy. To my knowledge, the program was put on pause due to the budget. We are currently waiting for this program to be revisited so that funds can be put in place for it to run.
When this program was paused, it really broke my heart. It's a beautiful space for young artists, for youth to express themselves, celebrate their differences, but also create connection, community with a collaborative spirit. Our future is very uncertain as of right now.
A lot of our students that come do not have dance educators at their school.
they don't have dance educators at the schools. They need more money. And also, 15 staff members took trips overseas disguised as professional development. What did they spend on that overseas trip? $142,000 spent on 15 staff overseas trips. Not 15 people, the 15 random trips that were disguised as professional development. They were packed, supposedly, with unscheduled time and optional activities. In other words, the trip, you have a small school meeting in the morning. It takes about 30 minutes. Then go have fun. Go take a jet ski out on the open ocean on the taxpayer's dime. A South Africa student trip, over $5,200 per person for 20 students. I've looked at airplane tickets. They're not that much unless you're flying first class, in which case, they're going to be that much. I don't know that these students flew first class, but the numbers spent on that seem like they might have. There were also college tours that cost $72,000 when they were only approved for $15,000. All of this is to highlight the fact that the Chicago Public School District is not spending the money appropriately, and yet we keep seeing videos like this, Cut 9.
What brought me here today is discouragement actually brought me here. The voiceless have brought me here. Being a former local school council president for a school on the south side, Foster Parks Fine and Performing Arts Magnet Custer School, I have witnessed the hurt and the disparity in our children in being underfunded and miseducated, because that's what ends up happening when our children are underfunded, when the schools are underfunded. Our children are miseducated. It's a lot when you have to sit and they give you a certain amount and say, make it work. And we know it's not enough. And we still work to make it enough. And you come back and take. As parents, as teachers, as the union, how much taking can you take from us and then try to force us to push out greatness?
If it weren't for the fact that people were just taking from them, they would be able to push out greatness. Also, Chicago public schools have a disastrously low graduation rate, disastrously low competency rate. If you look at the various grades, they are not up to par. All of this, again, in the face of incredibly irresponsible spending by the schools, by the unions, by the teachers that make up the unions, because everything is catered around the teachers' union and not the actual kids. In addition to this waste, fraud, and abuse, they saw that travel agencies charged hidden fees of up to 20% in travel costs, which, if you've never heard of this scheme before, it's my cousin owns a travel agency and they're going to charge us a 20% booking fee. And look at that. My cousin or a former teacher, whoever runs this travel agency, all of a sudden got a massive kickback. It is no secret that Chicago is run and controlled by the teachers' unions. We saw Mayor Lori Lightfoot get booted. She was a union honk and then all of a sudden turned on the unions during COVID, which was a weird thing, by the way, because it was like kind of admirable. But during COVID, Lori Lightfoot said, hey, we got to open up the schools. And instead of, opening up the schools, they said, bye-bye, adios, no more. And they put in another union talking head in Brandon Johnson. The bottom line here is that people don't like their money wasted. When you have no accountability for what's going on, people are going to look at that in a very, very negative light. This shouldn't be rocket science. But at the same time, this happens in city after city after city. Chicago is just one example where government officials waste taxpayer dollars and then try to get more money, which is taxation. Taxation is the rate of spending, not the rate of taxation. And so ultimately what you end up having is people saying, we are going to fight for the children of this school, which, by the way, I want the children of the Chicago Public School District to succeed. And it's a completely disingenuous argument. We want more money. So some of these kids, like mentioned in that video, don't have dance educators on their campuses. Now, I'm not sure you need dance educators on every campus in the Chicago Public School District. But at the same time, when your kids are failing, when people aren't showing up for schools, when it is costing taxpayers sometimes up to $93,000 per student per year, guess what? I don't have a ton of sympathy for you when you say we need more money. Maybe one, reallocate some of the money that's being wasted. Maybe two, don't continue wasting more money. And three, if you want my trust, call this stuff out yourself. Don't leave it to sarcastic, satirical talk show hosts to call it out for you. Chicago Public Schools wastes taxpayer dollars and then complains about not having enough money. Those two thoughts and arguments and ideas are incompatible with one another.